Welcome, welcome. Hello, everybody. I am definitely not nearly 45 minutes late. The post is up, so there we go. Make sure you share the live. Let everyone know we're live. Okay. The chat is already bursting at the seams. But yes, make sure that doesn't sound off. I have no excuses, I'm not going to lie. But to be fair, you guys were all expecting me to be massive. I wasn't expecting to be this late. I was expecting to have gone live about 18 minutes ago. But let's get right into this. It's going to probably end up being... Wait, this isn't the right one. Hang on. I've not got loaded up the right file. Would help if I checked that before. Is this the right one? Is this the right Ancient Aliens one?
August 1946. Esteemed U.S. naval officer and explorer Admiral Richard Byrd, one of the first pilots to fly over both the North and South Poles, organizes Operation High Jump, the largest expedition ever.
Okay, guys, shall we? I've got loads of them, so I'm gonna give you a choice here of where we go down this rabbit.
Many conspiracy theories are often rooted in anti-Semitism.
Right.
Instead of just suspending
Where should we go? Should we go down? That's an hour. We're not doing that one because I have not started anywhere near early enough to take this down. Video is louder than you. Yes, it normally is. Hang on, wait. Let me douse the flames on that one slightly. I'll probably not try and talk over the videos purely because otherwise, once I start messing with the desktop audio, it's also because on the new PC I had to reset up Stream Elements and I'd forgotten to do that. So when I turned it on, I was like, why can't I just link this? And I was like, oh yeah. I don't have an excuse as to why I was late. I'm sorry. But what should we look at? Should we look at like? I don't really want to look at the BuzzFeed one. So no, because I'm not going to make a joke about BuzzFeed. You can't kick someone when they're down. So do I look just at the Hollow Earth on its own, or should I look at Operation High Jump? Probably should have made it specifically about Operation High Jump if I'm going to do that. Let's
June 13th, 2014. Scientists researching the Earth's mantle announce that they have found what they believe to be a vast body of water, 3 times the volume of all of our oceans combined.
I'm so glad I started on the 5-minute one first. We will have a look because this is... I feel like this is specifically High Jump. And that's going to be more about Nazis, so I might skimp out on that one. So I might shift up. So we'll start on this one, and then we'll shift up to other Hollow Earth. If there's a Hollow Earth video you want me to look at, I'm going to skip out this one. I'm going to save it back for a High Jump video. But I thought that was more Hollow Earth stuff. I suppose High Jump is Hollow Earth. My mic is muffled for some reason. How is it? Hang on. Let me check the stream on my phone. It might be, again, new computer, all new setup. So it's new noise filters. History Daddy. It's going to be very chaotic stream because it's the first one on the new PC. I thought that was more Hollow Earth stuff. I suppose High Jump is Hollow Earth. My mic is muffled for some reason. How is it? Hang on. It's coming through fine on my end. I might have just maybe. I think that I have a feeling the chat is slightly behind. It's also going to get muffled when I try and play the video at the same time. So let's double in on what Hollow Earth stuff I'm going to be checking. Hollow Earth. There's a Joe Rogan one, and I don't know if I want to touch that. What if the Earth are hollow? I don't care. We might end up looking at the BuzzFeed one. Oh, to be fair, do you know what? Would it? Is it the mic in your headphone or something? I have a mic down here. Yeah, it's coming through clear on my end when I'm checking it, though. That's the issue for me. So I can't fix the issue because I'm not having it, and I don't know how to fix it. I don't care. We might end up looking at the BuzzFeed one. Oh, to be fair, do you know what? Would it? Is it the mic in your headphone or something? I have a mic down here. Yeah, it's coming through clear on my end. My face is right next to this mic now, so there's this is the best adjustment I've got. I'm not having it, and I don't know how to fix it. I don't care. Okay, right now it's a loop. Okay, right. I'm gonna add in. We're gonna bully BuzzFeed at some point in this. We're not gonna do. I would like to do the decoding the unknown, but he's gonna be more intelligent. So
Anti-Semitism.
I have a feeling that the BuzzFeed video will be on about the same level of intelligence as the actual conspiracy theory of the History Channel. Actually, no, that's probably offensive to the History Channel. I should really mute my phone as well. That would be the smart thing to do. But yes, welcome. It might just be that my thing was there. Again, new PC, all new settings. It's also the noise cancellation is working very hard because my PC has some very powerful fans that are auto, and I can turn them off, but because I have a more powerful PC that's mid-range, which means it's not liquid cooled, it needs that cooling. So we're gonna kick off. You know the drill. I've been neglecting TikTok. You know the drill. If you've been here multiple times, I go into the conspiracy theory and I take the mick out of it while I debunk it. And you guys enjoy the level of pure stress and anger that comes with this. And because the other History Channel video I got confused on and I thought was a Hollow Earth one, the complete disorganization of this, this week has been hectic with a new PC. That means that the next week I'm probably going to do a video on high jump, to be fair, so that saved me some research time. Not that you guys will be upset about that, because high jump is one of my favorite. We're not going to talk about high jump because we're doing Hollow Earth, Ryan. God damn it. Sorry, didn't mean to drop a little bit of blasphemy there. Right, so this is the Ancient Aliens season 10, the Hollow Earth Hyptohosis, right? This is going to be my beef. I'm going to get really annoyed with both of this because both the BuzzFeed video and the History Channel video say theory. A theory, right, is colloquially termed, obviously a detective goes, "What's your working theory, Bob?" "I don't know, Dave. I don't know why there's a New York detective called Dave, but there is now for the purpose of this little mini sketch here. But I don't know what the theory is because technically, Dave, we should be saying hypothesis because a theory is a proven thing. A theory isn't something you're working on. You can't have a working theory, Dave. I'm sorry, Bob. I will correct my terminology in the future. Thanks. We are very highly educated Brooklyn detectives. You're very right, Bob. I'm Dave. I forgot. I mixed that up for a second. But yeah, so the mic issue should all be fixed now. Let's just get into the video. It's been going 8 minutes already.
Bind, contained within a mineral layer 400 miles inside the Earth. The discovery shakes the foundation.
No, your accent's again. Listen, I'm going to start doing... I've realised the other day I can do a very good Mark Hamill Joker. Like... Batman! Why are you trying to talk to me? I just knew you'd come to play. It's my game, you see. Would you like to play it? The Riddler, I sent him backstage because his games are so boring. And then I killed the blue one because I wanted to play the game on easy for a change.
Foundation of...
Don't clip that. That was so cringe.
What scientists and scholars thought they knew about the ground under our feet.
We have just scratched the
It was very clear Reddit to pretend that it was hollow.
surface of the Earth.
Plasma physicist. Is that a real job? Luckily, this is my business Google Chrome, so I can type in P without getting worried. That's a joke. Porn is bad, children. This is a real thing. This is how I feel correcting someone on the difference between a rebellion and insurrection. Literally, hypothesis is you're working it out, and theory is it's proven, i.e. the theory of evolution, the theory of gravity. It's a direct shot at creationists. I can say that, I'm a Christian. Okay, so plasma physics is a real thing. So how are they going to edit this poor guy? This poor guy's... So if he had the same ridge, he would basically have my glasses. In before... It's... Oh, goddamn, hang on. Let me switch to the tab because the little heart is good, but it covers it... On OBS, it covers up your messages. In before, it's going to be porous earth caves, bait and switch. The Big Bang Theory. They have proven the Big Bang Theory, but also you can disprove a theory. Yeah, to my knowledge, anyways. but also they are currently working on there is a current universal model that they're working on. Space, I'm not as in on space as I am like dinosaurs, history and fantasy and mythology and all that. But there is a current, like, there's these two brothers I read about ages ago when I was having one of my Fanatophobia episodes, and I was trying to figure out if there was a way that my consciousness could continue, and now I know that that's for Christ. Where was I? That was it. There's these two brothers, and if you like, the mathematics was looking like that the Big Bang may just be a phase. There's a lot, like, and so I think Einstein, like, I think it was Einstein that famously said it either always existed, or it didn't, or was it like when he was trying to figure out the Big Bang. People often forget the Big Bang was put forward, I believe, by a Catholic, which is why it was rejected first off. Which is why it's really funny that when that's brought up in religious arguments, because the Big Bang is actually a religious answer to a scientific question. And it was proven, as far as we can know with our current understandings of the universe and physics, as far as we know, the Big Bang is the correct model, because everything explodes outwards. You know, i.e., saying like there was light let into the universe. So that's the current working model of the universe. And you'll often hear a lot of scientists and physicists and astronauts and all that stuff say current working model of the universe, because we are looking at something that changes so aggressively rapidly, which is why you get people like the Ancient Aliens, Eric von Daniken, who has some interesting views on certain groups. The Ancient Aliens hypothesis as well, I will say the majority of those people aren't racist, but there are certain elements of that genre. Like, there are the people, like, when I was in my teens, I'm not gonna lie, when I was in my hardcore atheist phase, I fell down the Ancient Aliens rabbit hole. Like, yes, alien spaceships, that makes sense for all religion. So there is a group of people that are just, like, are very anti-religious, and they fall into it, and then you go down a really crazy rabbit hole, and the British Empire was suddenly founded by lizard men. And then you pull yourself out of it, and then the issue, and I always say this every single time we do one of these, my issue is when we attack these, we never attack the, 34 seconds into the video, and I'm already on a rant, we attack the people who fall into these conspiracy theories and fall into these hypotheses. Conspiracy theory, fun fact, is the only one where that terminology fits, because it was invented by the CIA, and I might do a regular YouTube video on that, actually, how the term conspiracy theory wasn't directly invented by the CIA. Where was I? But yeah, by attacking these people directly and calling them racist and bigoted and stuff like that, you're not attacking the argument, so they fall back because you're making a personal attack. And it's one of my biggest things is the only way we're going to get rid of the Ancient Aliens hypothesis, the only way we're going to get rid of the Ancient Apocalypse hypothesis, the Hollow Earth stuff, is you have to attack it on a logical, factual level. And as much as it may pain us, like, it's funny when I do these videos, I'm taking the mick out of, like, these people. If I'm in a debate, I need to attack them on a logical level and treat them as an equal. If you're going to win a debate with someone or change their mind, you don't want to win a debate, you want to change minds, you have to treat them as an equal. And that upsets a lot of people on the logical side of the argument. You also have to remember that you may be as dug in as well. Like, could there have been a spacefaring race that came down, investigated humanity for a bit, and then some of that fell into local legends like swamp creatures or something? Absolutely. Is there evidence for it? No. So am I going to say it's a thing? No. But would I say investigate it? Yes. And we should be more investigative. Sorry, we're on a rant. Anyways. This is how I feel. It's only creationists who want to debunk it. It's minority in the Christian population, which is very, very true. When I was hardcore on the young Earth creationists, aka mostly crazy evangelical heretics. I'm not gonna call anyone openly a heretic on my stream. Because I try to be very welcoming. Again, I want to bring everyone in, but yes, crazy evangelical heretics. But yeah, the Silurians mentioned. I want to do one on the Silurian hypothesis, because it actually is a semi-viable idea, and the Silurian hypothesis is an internet idea put forward, which is actually named after the Silurians from Doctor Who, and a lot of people think it's very similar to Graham Hancock's ideas. It's not. The idea is very much that there was like a dinosaur civilization that was wiped out. which would mean that any evidence of it would actually be wiped out by the time period. What's stopping the Big Bang Theory and the Christian creationism from coexisting? ED, God created the universe with the Big Bang. So it can coexist. There's actually nothing directly, I'm starting to read the Bible now. Nothing directly that coalesces against it, like the idea that God, quite literally, again, it's one of the reasons science was slow to accept the Big Bang Theory, is because it fits very well into the let there be light narrative. It's why I made the jest earlier. So evolution happening and like slowly crafting, you could very easily say, oh, the Garden of Eden was just God like plopping some people in, like moving them in to position to start human civilization moving out of the evolutionary phase. I mean, my other point is, if you are an omniscient God who has just created the universe, or well, very least, we'll make it at very least the solar system, and if not the universe as a whole, right? But we'll keep the solar system to make it more feasible for everyone watching, right? My first thought wouldn't be I'm gonna make ape men who make weird Rule 34 art of Scooby-Doo and talk to me about their problems all day. My first thought is going to be, I'm going to make giant lizards. I'm going to make giant roaring lizards. I am going to make Jurassic Park. And then just one of the angels is just sitting there like, what's Jurassic Park? And he's like, I'm going to invent it. Like, that's where you would start. I thought the Silurians were named after theory. To my knowledge, the theory is named after the Silurians. Or the hypothesis, rather. But of all of the hypotheses, of all the crazy hypotheses, the Silurian hypothesis is the most likely. I'm not saying it's a real thing to the academics watching. Irish on the TikTok side, and then the dog was created by the angels, and God said nuke the lizards. Exactly. We needed to make room for dogs. We needed to make room for dogs. I'm bordering on blasphemy at this point. Bordering. Aiden Max is just going to pop into the stream like, have I taught you nothing? That's it. You're not meeting Wendigo now, and then I'll cry. I can love both of you guys. Fun fact: watching Wendigo and cryptozoology videos was really good at pushing me towards Christ. Don't know how that works. Videos on the Mothman and Bigfoot from those two men really did help pushing me. Also, I really recommend his earlier conspiracy theory iceberg ones. That's because that's where the giants meme comes from. Also, the Incan steps are not giants. We're gonna have to. There's a lot of. I was sitting there thinking I'm running out of conspiracy theories, and I'm just realizing there's too many. Anyways, let's get in because I have a D&D game at some point tonight, and I am gonna be massively late for this break.
We drilled down like 8 miles, and we had to stop because it got too hot.
Yeah, because of this thing called a molten core. I need to get StreamYard so I could play clips like Owen Wilson going, wow. I don't know if anyone watches the Nerdrotic streams and stuff where he's like, got the wow, and he comes up and he just plays different videos and stuff. Or like H3, I don't know. Yeah, pick 2 non-divisive streamers to talk about, Ryan. That's what you got to do.
Out of 4,000 miles, basically, to the core of the Earth, we went down 8. That's nothing.
We have more.
Right. They've set that up to say, oh, we've barely explored it. Oh. When the previous edit, like, I know these editing techniques because I went to film and I study film and I still work editing. The way they've edited that is to set it up and go, we've barely gone down. So who knows what could be down there? And then, like, you forget at that point that he's just said that it was because it was too hot. Because we have the crust, the upper mantle, which I believe is liquid. It goes in a funny way. It's been a long time since I've done geography. I've got horrible geography books over there. Actually, I had all of them. I've read horrible science, horrible geography, horrible histories. This is why I don't. This is why I didn't have friends as a kid. Wendy got cartoonishly American scripted videos for me. I'm just upset that he ranked Nessie so low. Yeah.
More than 70 active space programs right now. We can tell you more about the surface of the moon than we...
Yeah, there's horrible science and horrible geography as well. Horrible geography is a little bit smaller of a series, and horrible science is about just as big. Horrible science is the most boring, but that's because I'm not a chemistry person. I like biology, and I like history, and I like dinosaurs, and about like space, and that'll be it.
We can the surface underneath our own oceans.
Since we have not actually drilled down far enough to confirm these findings, could it be that we may be wrong about the composition of our own Earth? Some ancient astronaut theorists say yes, and suggest that according to our earliest mythologies, an other Earth might not be found in the heavens, but deep within our own planet.
One of the most consistent themes that we find in ancient cultures when we travel around the world is the idea that there is another world, another Earth inside of the planet.
Within Buddhism,
What? Brother, Right, so I know what theologies they're going on about, but all I'm saying is every theology I know of where you're going down is some kind of hell. The Greeks had Hades and Tartarus. Specifically, Tartarus was where you went in prison, and is where we get our modern idea of hell from, really. So are we gonna just? Are we? Why am I? Right, listen. I see Hyperborea being mentioned in the chat. I do not want the neo-Nazis to be summoned. Do not mention Hyperborea. If you say it 3 times, a bold fat man with an awful tattoo comes on going, "I am the master this." Where's my sleep apnea mask? Yeah, basically. The Hyperborea stuff will probably come up when I look into High Jump more. Hello, hope you're doing well. Spirit travelling to the Earth and return is rebirth. Yes. Well, depending on certain religions like Buddhism and Hinduism.
there's stories of a place called Agartha or Agarti, which is an inner world, and it's inhabited too by people, and that they are an advanced race. And
We are 1 minute 46 seconds in, and he has already mentioned Agartha. I need to send this video to Aiden. I want to watch him react to this on stream. I need to see his pain for this one.
even that they have trains and vehicles.
I used to watch this show when I was a kid. He went up to a native guide in South America who went into this valley, and they were looking at a cave, right? And he was trying to explain about crazy ancient technology that the aliens had brought down. And the native guy was just going, "The fuck is this going on about? I don't get paid enough for this shit." Like, you could just see it. He's just sort of nodding, like, nod, and get paid. What are you on about? What are you on about? Like, oh, okay. Advanced race, I wonder where I've heard that before. Gnome Hyperborea. Imagine that you explored, you actually did find a Hollow Earth, and you just found a race of Nazi gnomes. Like, they look exactly like regular gnomes that you find in, like, your nan's front garden, but they've all got, like, swash stickers, like, tattooed onto their foreheads. Imagine you're sitting there and they're just like, it's like a horror movie, and they're like crawling on the ceiling like bugs, like, I don't know, I'm Führer. Sorry, okay, come on.
Vehicles that are moving through this inner Earth.
Is it possible that an other Earth can be located within the confines of our own planet?
No.
Historically, underground realms were not relegated to mere mythology.
You know what else wasn't relegated to mere mythology? Dragons. In England. Where would I fit some dragons in England? We're like half the size of one American state. In fact, that's not even taking the entire British Isles in. So, like, just England. Where am I fitting? Okay.
Well-respected scientists and mathematicians have long speculated about a theory that became known as Hollow Earth.
The scientist Edmond Halley is most famous for Halley's Comet. He was also very interested in the Earth, And one of the challenges was trying to figure out what was the real structure of the inside of the Earth. He had a fascinating theory of not just a hollow Earth, but an Earth with multiple layers.
75 years later, 18th century mathematician Leonhard Euler put forth his own hollow Earth theory with no concentric shells and a sun at the center spanning 600 miles.
The issue is, right, the issue is that we're looking at here is we're looking at the ideas of people that existed before we had the technology to go and check this stuff out, which we have. And I know they're probably going to bring it up at some point. I mean, there's not much longer left in this video. It's 5 minutes, which is why we're looking at the BuzzFeed one in a second, which I'm not going to lie, I feel like I'm going to lose less brain cells and have more dignity watching the History Channel one. Even though History Channel and Netflix are currently in a race to see who's more historically inaccurate. And people have asked me, like, will I do a live reaction to the Alexander documentary? No, because I don't want to be copyrighted, because Netflix is very upset about the fact that everyone... In fact, Stakuyi, History of Everything podcast, has brilliantly broken down why the Alexander the Great documentary is trash. So has Dennis Fang, and I recommend both of those men greatly for their work. I also recommend Stakuyi's like gaming channel as well. His gaming stuff, his Hearts Fine videos are really good. I want him to do more Crusader Kings. Where was I? But yeah, they're probably going to do it. So like there was stuff like there's the tunnels of Malta, which have legends of, like, you know, there was a story that a woman like went down on some rope, she found some giants, and then like the stories of kids being dragged into the tunnels by this ancient race of giants. I love that the underground stories always end in ancient race of giants, because if you think of an underground race, I think of like something smaller, like, you know, I could see, you know, because like the legends of dwarves, there is an idea that they could originate from Neanderthals, you know, like stocky, slightly shorter, industrious, very creative beings that are very good tool makers living in caves and such. So like an underground civilization isn't that far-fetched. Then you get to the stuff where it's like there's the lizard people living underground. I'm not gonna lie, I have some very crazy beliefs. I'm like, yeah, they could be, but I always have it as like, yeah, they could be. So like the idea of like small underground cities, yeah, because there is a lot of crust to get through, a lot of crust to get through. We have found underground cities that are like have stables and everything that are really well professionally built, and are really well ventilated and stuff that may have been inhabited like long ago. So an underground city or two isn't like, you know, and it wouldn't surprise me if you did have some kind of like, you know, maybe not lizard men, but like Neanderthal group comes up, or an ancient like a human civilization that's been locked underground for ages. And they would probably look slightly grayer and have bigger eyes. Sorry, going down my own little conspiracy. It's funny that I'm debunking a lot of conspiracy. I like doing this as well, because at some point I'm going to come up against conspiracies that I do genuinely believe in, and then I'm going to have to debunk them from self, looking at a good thing. Giants, well, I don't know. Ask Wendigoon. Wendigoon needs to do a giant video, man. Him and Aid needs to do a Nephilim video. Maybe Nazi Mutants we came up with the other day. Talk Warrior Gods win. Babajack will always be a gem. That'd be Goosebumps look, basically, yeah. I want to see that made into a movie. A lot of these people who would go if alive today would probably go, I was wrong, fair enough. Yeah, because they were scientists, and they were... It depends, because there were, like, historically people in these positions, like one of the most famous surgeons. The reason that we didn't, like, antibacterial theory didn't catch on was because there was a surgeon who was so, full on, like, bearing in mind, like, barber surgeons at the same time, they were barbers and they were surgeons at the same time, like, they would have the guts, and like their aprons would be as bloody as possible to show you that they were experienced, and like they wouldn't, you know, their tools were very poorly cleaned and stuff, they weren't washing their hands or anything, and germ theory just didn't catch on, because there was this one particular barber, Count Dankula did a video on him, who just was refusing to accept it because he was so arrogantly in his ways, and he held back science a lot, and he killed a lot of people for his arrogance. So there is a certain level of arrogance that a lot of scientists and academics do carry, the same as a lot of, you know, the church did for a lot of medieval history. which is why I'm not the biggest fan of the church. I'm not the biggest fan of authority figures in general, if I'm honest, because they, like, when you get an arrogant one, and they don't necessarily have to be evil. Arrogance and pride are possibly the two biggest things that have, because you get evil people that make great leaps in science, i.e. the Japanese and the Nazis, right, or Imperial Japan and the Nazis, to provide separation from modern day Japan, although as a nation state they are still slightly proud of their imperial past. Also, Mongolia building a giant statue to Genghis Khan doesn't really say sorry. Just as a no. But like, so they're evil. These are evil governments that do make big leaps forward in science. Unless you're Japan and you do experiments so bad that the Nazis are like, bro, maybe chill out, bro. Like, just calm down a bit. And then the Soviets are like, bro, what? And the Americans are like, what? Even we haven't done anything this bad yet. So yeah, but arrogance and pride get in the way of human progress more than anything. Like, so it's worse than being evil, because it ultimately kills more people. Right.
Euler was a gifted mathematician. He developed this idea that the planet Earth is not only hollow, but the poles are actually thinned. And there are actually entrances into the inner core at the north and south poles of the Earth. He imagined that there were advanced civilizations living inside the planet.
Ideas.
Brother, I truly believe someone who's arrogant but believes they are doing good will do much more damage than someone who knows they're doing bad. Yeah, exactly. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. It's why you get a lot of like, when Doctor Who was first being made, there was a lot of people that wanted to can it, and I mean a lot of people that wanted to can it because they believed they were doing the best for the BBC, and they thought they were doing a good thing. That's a very poor example, I suppose. When the Soviets, when the Soviets got into power, at least some of them thought they were genuinely doing good. Over time, I think they realized that, yeah, we're the bad guys. Let's do Holodomor. But at some point, like the early communists, they genuinely thought they were doing a good thing, and that led to the deaths of millions of people. You get like someone who genuinely believes that. In fact, actually, the best example, Hitler genuinely believed he was doing the right thing. He genuinely believed that he was doing the right thing, that he was doing a utopia. So if like even me or you, a regular person, if I get a crazy idea, right, and I genuinely believe this is the best for humanity, and in 10, 20 years time I get into a position of power, and then I am able to implement that idea, that could do a lot worse harm than if I went crazy, like, I'm a supervillain. Like, the doing good, but like doing evil, believing it's good, is worse. This is gonna upset people. To quote Elon Musk at the at one of his recent interviews, like, it's really agitating to see people doing evil while purporting to do good. And then he called out Bob Iger, which was actually quite cool. I'm not a massive Elon, I'm not an Elon simp. It's just a very hardcore quote.
Of an occupied hollow Earth would be revisited nearly 2 centuries later in 1947, when famous polar explorer Admiral Richard Byrd flew reconnaissance missions over the North Pole. Byrd allegedly reported in his private journal about
Kim Il-sung versus Kim Il-jung. Yes, kind of. The Kim dynasty did get. The Kim dynasty did get quite power hungry quite quickly, even before the power swap. The Kim dynasty, yeah, I love the fact that it's the Kim dynasty. Actually, if you look back, the Kims actually have connections to Korean royalty, anyways, which I find quite funny. Meridan, hello, good to see you over on TikTok. What's funny is TikTok has been on me to stream more and more and more, and I get less views over on the TikTok, which you think would be the more regular one, than I do on YouTube, which is quite funny.
About a mysterious land beyond the North Pole, which he called the center of the great unknown.
I was really hoping he was going to say Hyperborea. I was really hoping. I was like, oh, come on, let me go all in.
Admiral Richard Byrd was able to fly to the North Pole and back and recorded.
You know, it's quite funny that he's called Richard Byrd and he's an admiral. So he has the rank. He has a naval rank, and his surname is Byrd. Unless the American Air Force uses admirals, I don't know. I don't know if there's any American Air Force personnel in the chat. Let me know. In fact, it's probably safer to do that than to leak all of your documents on War Thunder.
Flying over lush green areas where none should have been.
No! There's not. Antarctica hasn't been green since the dinosaurs were about. Ah, Malakar. Look how smug he looks. I was going to make a joke about his hairline, but that's cruel.
And then 3 years later, he flew over the South Pole.
Do you have pictures? You did a reconnaissance. Where's the pictures? It's an American I know the Americans are incompetent, but there would be pictures. There has to be pictures.
It's rumored that when Admiral Byrd's task force actually got to
Rumored! You're making a documentary. You're Ancient Aliens on Mars. Why are you the author of Ancient Aliens on Mars? What's his credentials? You're doing a documentary. I want more PhDs and, like, at least BA honours in film and television, so then I can get paid to be on here.
Antarctica, that one of the first things they
He was in South America and got confused.
discovered.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me that wouldn't be the first time that an American Air Force has cocked up that bad.
Was an entrance into a hollow Earth civilization that was populated by very, very advanced beings.
Admiral Byrd made a lot of unusual statements, including talking about what he called new.
There's a 1950s flying saucer on my screen. They could have at least done some better CGI. Are you guys happy? We're at the point where I start having a mental breakdown. This is why I'm pushing off Flat Earth, because I genuinely think I'm gonna have a mental breakdown watching Flat Earth. And I'm gonna sit there and gossip has best source standards than these documentaries. I think internet beef on Twitter is easier to follow and more easier to verify than this is.
Of craft that could fly from pole to pole. And when Byrd got back to
videos, photos. Why are you doing a military reconnaissance? And in 1947, when, like, you've had a lot of time during this thing called World War II, right? And you've had a lot of time to perfect reconnaissance because we spent so long reconning the fucking mainland of Europe while we prepared to invade for D-Day. We have footage of them dropping bombs on planes that weren't designed to be reconnaissance planes because they were bomber planes. The B-17, the Lancaster bomber. So if we could get footage from them, actual video footage, it may not have had sound, but we had video footage. Why is there no photos or videos from this expedition? Why can't you give me any photos or videos? Just put one on the screen. Or are they classified? Like the videos that are being doctored by NASA and that one guy saw them being edited. I'm swearing in different languages so that it gets around the system.
To the United States, he was brought back to Washington where he was questioned very heavily about his statements. And allegedly he was told to stop talking about this.
Is it possible
Yeah, but just because he was told to stop talking doesn't mean that necessarily that he was right. Maybe like everyone's forgetting. What if there was just a sort of point that the White House staff were just like, "Shut the fuck up, stop. You were on mushrooms. We thought it was funny to give you mushrooms, okay? And the CIA were giving you LSD. There's some MK Ultra or something or not. There's also this Ted Kaczynski guy and Charles Manson that we're putting him on drugs as well to see what happens.
that entrances
Surely nothing will go wrong.
to another world can be found at the Earth's poles?
Do you know what I like? I like the idea of it. I like the idea of it, right? That it's like, you know, in Lord of the Rings when they get to the door and they have to wait for the moon to come to a certain thing. But like, I like that idea. Like they're just sitting there in Antarctica waiting for the moon to line up, and it like comes out like a magical door, and then Galadriel comes out and she's like, "I'm going to take you to the center of the earth." You know, it's a good video when History Daddy starts breaking down exactly that. This is why you guys get me to watch these. This is why, because you all enjoy watching me lose my sanity. The BuzzFeed one's going to be even worse, isn't it?
And if so, did Admiral Byrd actually pass through one of them? According to some ancient astronaut theorists, such gateways do exist.
If we were to discover the other Earth, the place we have sought, the missing world, it would be profoundly humbling. So this would be quite a paradigm shift. History would change in a very
archives. So he named his archives after himself. Brilliant.
very major way.
Origins of the Earth and Moon. I could sit and watch. I've debated just doing like reactions to Ancient Aliens videos, clips, and so if you want to put in, you know, I'll put a poll up. I'll put a poll up on YouTube for you, and I'll just put another Sanity Lost classic. Yeah. Should I react to more Ancient Aliens? And then it will just be a simple yes/no poll, and I really hope that it's a resounding no. Yeah. I can't believe. I don't know where to go at the moment from this. Also, YouTube's flagging me up that it's being claimed, so I might not be able to react to Ancient Aliens in the future because YouTube's getting very mad. Many conspiracy theories are often rooted in anti-Semitism,
Racism and harmful stereotypes. They are often motivated by the wish to undermine or do harm to particular ethnic groups. It's important to keep this in mind when discussing these conspiracies.
The only conspiracy theories I follow are directly to undermine the US and the UK government. So.
Hi, I'm.
So unless, you know, if you're upset that I dislike the UK and the US government, then like a big thank you, Meridan, for sharing live on TikTok.
And I'm wondering, was Godzilla vs. Kong onto something, and there actually is an entire other world with its own atmospheres found deep within the Earth's core?
No.
Since I was a child, I've been naturally inquisitive, questioning anything
My moustache is better than his.
and everything that didn't quite make sense. As I grew, I poured countless hours into a number of conspiracy theories. Some of these theories I believe, and some of these theories I don't. But some of them I do. Here I'll be studying the evidence for and against all of history's mysteries, doing the work so you...
Okay, you can shut up. I don't care.
Conspiracy theory is that the Earth is hollow. Pretty simple. Of course, there's this.
Like BuzzFeed's journalism. Let's end that poll. Not the stream. Don't end the stream, Ryan. Oh, thank goodness. You guys said no. No got 66%. Okay, I'm happy with that. I am happy with that. Nice home screen. Yes, it's Tally from Mass Effect 3. I think this may be your master. Yeah, this is. I've got to do Flat Earth at some point, and I'm gonna do that in separate ones. I'm probably gonna do like directly the Flat Earth Twitter feed I found. I feel like that would be complete mental breakdown for that one. But yes.
The surface that we know and live on, but deep within the Earth, there is an inner world, or worlds.
Photo again. Yeah,
and the belief also suggests that there is at least one opening to the inner worlds out here on the surface. Most folks who subscribe to this theory believe that the opening is at the North Pole, but some people believe that there's a second opening located in the Himalayas.
Ooh, wait, what? So there's like 3 versions of this theory now. One's in the North Pole, one's in the South Pole, and one's in the Himalayas.
And while the unified
Hipster Gavrilo Princip. And Gavrilo Princip, Gavrilo Princip was a bit of a hipster, wasn't he? Ah, yes, assassinating this Austrian Archduke. Surely there will be no consequences to my actions.
idea with hollow earthers is that the earth is hollow. There seems to be a little bit of confusion as to what is inside. Some believe that there are entire cavern systems that run throughout the interior of the hollow earth, and some believe that the interior of the hollow earth looks a lot like it does up here, complete with its own atmospheres. Some believe that
Cavern system ones is a bit. I think when he says Himalayas, I have a feeling that they're gonna go into like, because there's a lot of people that believe that like there's aliens in the US mountains and stuff, or like secret military bases, which, you know, like a Thunderbird style door opening and a mounting on. I'm not gonna go, well, maybe, like, but the caverns under the earth, I'll give you a bit more credit for. It depends how deep you're planning on going. Depends how I've heard it pronounced like Princip was the traditional, and then Princip was the Anglicization. Oh, Himalayas. Here we go, the 40k Imperial Palace.
that flying saucers and UFOs did not come from the stars above, but instead came from the hollow earth, sent up here by the highly evolved people that live down there, as a measure to spy on the world above and prevent nuclear war.
I'm sorry, I try not to swear, but what the fuck? What the fuck? Oh, there's someone that makes Rule 34 of this, you just know it.
Possibly unsurprisingly, a lot of people that believe in the hollow earth theory also believe that the moon, the sun, the stars, and other planets are hollow as well. Such a theory lies in religious lore as well, as ancient Greeks, Tibetan Buddhists, and Christians all located their version of hell deep beneath the Earth's mantle. Some ancient civilizations had myths about entire worlds existing underneath the ground. For example, Mexican legends that tell the tale of a mountain cave nearby Ojinaga, which is inhabited by devil-like creatures from, quote, the way down deeps. And of course, as with almost any conspiracy theory, Hitler and the Nazis are involved too. Though the hollow earth theory originated long before Adolf Hitler's rise to power, it has since been co-opted, with some believing that Hitler did not die in World War II, but instead escaped to the inner earth, possibly with
Hitler escaped to the inner earth. Not Argentina, which is, you know, plausible. Again, conspiracy. But Hitler travelled to the Himalayas and fled inside the earth. This is why aliens don't talk to us.
With a group of Nazis. This is problematic for obvious reasons, though especially because most believers thought that the hollow earth is home to a, quote, superior human race, harkening back to Nazis' own language when they persecuted 6 million innocent people. And while some theorists claim that on satellite imagery sites such as Google Earth, evidence of holes leading to the center of the earth has been digitally altered.
He didn't say Hyperborea. There's bits in my juice. Sorry. He didn't say Hyperborea. I'm very displeased.
To hide this, others believe that the evidence is still very present for anyone who wants to see. And
the issue is Hollow Earth. The Hollow Earth hypothesis is one of is very, very deeply entrenched in anti-Semitism when you get down to it. So it's not just crazies, because, you know, the Nazis believed in it.
Godzilla vs. Kong, the inner worlds of the Earth are depicted as an entire ecosystem, complete with grass, different creatures, trees, water, mountains, clouds, etc. But the question here isn't, was Godzilla vs. Kong a great movie? The question I'm wondering is, was it more of a make-em-up fantasy like Harry Potter and the Rings, or was it more of an inspired by true events like The Social Network or the Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
Was Godzilla versus King Kong inspired by real events? Was the movie involving the giant gorilla and the giant salamander based on real events? Also the robot salamander as well. I am so I can't answer that question. That's a really hard question for me to answer. I don't know if the movie based on the giant gorilla fighting the giant salamander and teaming up to fight the giant robot salamander was based on facts. It might be
real. That's right. Look it up. Surprisingly, very real-world surface people have tried to find the entrance to the Hollow Earth, and many attempts have been made. One of the most famous Hollow Earth theorists was a man by the name of John Sims, a veteran of the 1812.
Isn't that the guy who plays the Master? Isn't that the guy who plays the Master?
Anglo-American War.
I swear someone writes these prompts with simultaneously about 20 different hard drugs.
Published a pamphlet in which he wrote, "I declare the earth is hollow and habitable within, containing a number of solid concentric spheres, one within the other, and that
there's multiple hollow earths according to this guy. It's like saying Doctor Who's Fire Pompeii episode based on true events. No, there's fire giants, but Pompeii burning for a tree.
Is open at the poles, 12 or 16 degrees. He also declared that he was, quote, ready to explore the hollow. In March 1822, a senator presented the case for Sims to be supplied with the equipment for an expedition. Ultimately, the motion failed. Sims died in 1829 and was said to have maintained his belief until his death. After Sims...
But how would they even have, like... Did he know how to get into the Hollow Earth though? Because how is he gonna have how is he gonna have an expedition when he doesn't know how to get in there? Is my argument, my question. Make sure that YouTube isn't getting mad at me using them. No, we're good. Okay, cool. But no, like how's he gonna get in there? Does he know and surely does he have a note of where he thinks the entrance is so other people could look? Like, I mean, that could be a big reason why the motion failed. Just sounds like he was too horny, to be honest, ready to explore the hollow. It's like, I want to go. It's like that one episode of Rick and Morty where Rick gets the planet pregnant.
Sims' work The Mantle, wink, was taken up by Rodney M. Clough, author of World Top Secret, Our Earth is Hollow. In 1981, spurred on by evidence he claims to have found in, quote, scriptures, history, and science, he moved his wife and his 5 kids from their home in New Mexico to a new home in Alaska, believing that they would be closer to discovering the truth of the Hollow Earth.
Bro, right, I'm not gonna lie, right, I know I've been, like, dragging the Hollow Earth theorists and the Hollow Earth hypothesists, or whatever you want to call them, like, for a lot. I'm not gonna lie, that's commitment, though. That is commitment, to move your entire family up to Alaska just to see if you're maybe possibly potentially right. That's commitment. I gotta give it to him there. That is commitment to a belief, even if he's a bit crazy. Vodka, Ushanka, and balance not included. Balaclava not included.
The wild part is he wasn't even the only person to move to Alaska with this idea. Clough found a small group of believers who embarked on a mission to find the entrance to the center of the earth. They began on a road to Point Barrow, but abandoned the trek when they were met with a sign that read, "This is a private road. Don't go any further." In 2003, he would try again when he received an email from a Steve Curry who wanted to use his travel firm to plan a new trip with Clough. Set to take place from June to July 2007, the plan was to charter a Russian icebreaker ship and travel to the North Pole. There they would find the Hollow Earth entrance and planned activities like, quote, a monorail trip to the city of Eden to visit the palace of the King of the Inner World. Unfortunately, the
What? What? I'm losing. I don't even have a rebuttal at this point. How do I rebuttal going to visit the King of the Inner World? How do I don't know. I don't even know how to debunk that. Where do I even begin? What? I don't know. I don't know. I think you guys finally gave me one that broke. This is the one that breaks me. I don't know. I don't know how to debunk this. The History Channel bit was easier to debunk and look at from a factual standpoint.
trip was halted when Curry discovered that he had 6 inoperable brain tumors and died shortly before the trip.
Be a good person. We want to go to heaven. We want to go to heaven. Don't say it. But I mean, it makes sense now. I can't lie. I'm sorry. But it does make sense.
Trip could take place. After Curry's death, a Dr. Brooks Agnew would be assigned as leader of the expedition, though he would resign in 2013, claiming that a major stockholder in his company had withdrawn their money, citing Agnew's participation in this expedition as their reason. A little later, another member of the crew would die in a plane crash, leading Clough to wonder if mysterious powers were against the crew and their expedition. But as far
This is... I don't know quite how to react to this at all in any capacity. This actually kind of leads on to so the people who discovered Tutankhamun's tomb, like there's a alleged curse that went around that, and a lot of people who discovered it did end up passing away, and so people believed that there was in fact a curse, and people passed away in a certain sequence of events and yada yada yada. I'm fairly certain a few of them were found to, one, have not passed away. It was just an internet legend, and two, it shows how quickly this gets out of hand, and that a sequence of events, like, and you end up going, like, there are cursed objects, like the Urtzi man, Urtzi, the guy who was like, they found him like that, and he had an arrow in his back, and he was like a Neolithic human, and like people have passed away after handling that. It always strikes me as kind of funny when there is a superstition attached to a scientific expedition, and the fact that there is a magical force behind it. If that, you know what, I would actually believe it more if they said they feel like something bad's going wrong and the CIA's involved. And I would be more Pharaoh's curse, exactly. I would be more inclined to believe if they were like, I think the CIA gave the first guy brain tumors. I'd be more inclined to believe that the mystical forces didn't want him getting into the Hollow Earth.
far-fetched as these explorers seem to us in the modern world, at one point Hollow Earth was a very well-respected and accepted scientific theory. 18th century astronomer Royal Edmond Halley, of Halley's Comet fame, believed that unusual compass readings could mean that the Earth was made up of a series of shells. He also posited that the space between each shell could contain luminous atmospheres that could theoretically support life.
But again, these people with modern science would probably look back and go, yeah, no, that was a dumb idea. I was working with what 20% of the knowledge you have today of how the Earth works. I didn't have a massive drill that could go in and see if there was a mantle. Because if there is a mantle, so we've had the first guy in the Ancient Aliens one speak about how it was too hot to go any lower, which would suggest a molten core or a mantle and stuff like that. In fact, we actually can't get down there because it's too hot to drill, so we have to use like seismographs and stuff. There's a laboratory in Japan that does it. But like, I just can't get it, man.
Modern believers of the theory simply look to accounts of those who claim to have visited the inner Earth. A Norwegian sailor named Olaf Jansen told about supposedly sailing through the entrance to the interior of the planet with his father in 1811. According to Jansen, the inner Earth contains the city of Eden and 12-foot-tall superhumans with the ability to never get sick. Karl Unger, a German sailor who supposedly was on the 1943 U-boat expedition to the South Pole, claimed to have entered the hollow Earth through an underwater passageway. The crew was then reportedly welcomed by an advanced civilization somewhere called Rainbow Island.
Oh no, every time I'm being teased, man. Like every time they're like, the Nazis did this expedition, they were greeted by an advanced civilization, and then Rainbow Island. Do you know what? I would really love it. I would really love it if the Nazis made it to the center of the Earth and the advanced alien, like the advanced race at the center of the Earth, was just a race of like gay people. Which went, hello, we are the Nazis, and like, oh, hello, everyone here is gay. And then the Nazis were like, oh yeah, we've never done anything bad to the gay people. We are very nice. We're good. We're going to leave now. And then they actually managed to escape because they were all wearing leather. So they managed to convince them.
Similarly, a U.S. Naval Admiral Richard Byrd kept a secret diary of an expedition
Rainbow Island for a reason, exactly.
To the North Pole in 1947, which reportedly contained descriptions of a land brimming with lakes, lush greenery, and even woolly mammoths.
Woolly mammoths were a specific species of elephant that evolved particularly to survive the Ice Age and the cold. So you are telling me that under the Earth, in the South Pole, there is an entrance to the Hollow Earth, and then you found lush forests. So why is there a woolly mammoth? A woolly mammoth in a lush forest. Gay giants from the inner Earth. We didn't assassinate the homosexual members. No, we didn't. Ernst Röhm? Who's Ernst Röhm? Yeah, woolly mammoths existed in cold places because that's why they were woolly. So they wouldn't be in a lush forest. And like you do get elephants in forests, like the Indian elephant or the Asian elephant. Can't quite remember what it's called. Like they exist in forests and they're a lot smaller. As to why you would have a woolly mammoth in a lush forest, I don't actually know because it doesn't make any logical sense.
Now, while some of these theories could be fun to believe, notwithstanding any anti-Semitic Third Reich fever dreams, if modern science is to be believed,
okay, at least he called out the Nazis.
And it is, we know that the Earth is all but hollow. Of course, through modern geology, we know that the central point of the Earth is more than 6,000 kilometers down, and the outermost layer of the core is about 3,000 kilometers below the ground. By observing the effect of gravity on the planet's surface, scientists can estimate Earth's mass as something around 5.9 sextillion tons.
Yeah, sextillion. Also maths.
With no evidence pointing to there being anything as heavy at the surface. According to Simon Redfern of the...
What about your mom? Sorry. It wasn't there. Right, you guys have made me sit through like 20 minutes, like 15 minutes. To be fair, I was massively late, so I can't complain.
the University of Cambridge, the density of the material at the Earth's surface is much lower than the average density of the whole Earth. So that tells us there's some.
Yes. Okay. I'll move a button in the live studio. There you go. Are you happy with me now, TikTok? Okay.
Something much denser. Which, of course, might beg the question, if the Earth isn't filled with lush valleys, the city of Eden, and Avatar-like people living in concert with King Kong and the Skullcrawlers, what's down there? Well, scientists agreed that most of the center of the Earth is made up of about 80% iron, though the exact measurements are debated. Earthquakes and seismology have helped scientists.
This room, I don't know, it's a complete side note, but this guy's room is aggressively empty, and with the panels, I'm fully expecting like a face in the window. Like the lighting and everything just screams poltergeist.
When estimating the size of the core. Shockwaves are sent throughout the planet during an earthquake, which are measured by seismologists via seismic stations located throughout the world. Seismologists figured out that some vibrations sent to these stations were missing. These were called S-waves and were expected to show up on the opposite side of the globe from where they originated. But
Why is everyone saying, huh? Is it because I was going on about how his room kind of looks like it's haunted? There's going to be like a face in the background. That's what I was going on.
Weren't. S-waves were found to only be able to reverberate through solid material, not through liquid. This led science.
Copyright claim. What has it gone down? Has the stream gone down? Okay. Okay, do I get the stream back then? I don't know. Hang on, let me see. I don't know if you guys can hear me. Stream is no longer being blocked due to copyright claims. I hope you guys can see me. Should be back now. I don't know if it's going to come up. I'm back. Okay, I'm back. Right. Okay. I've turned this off. I think we're gonna have to end it there, guys. I know it's a really short one. I do deeply apologize, but I've been claimed by BuzzFeed and the History Channel, so there's nothing I can do, unfortunately. It just means that we won't be able to touch on History Channel in the future. I don't know what to do, if I'm brutally honest. Yeah, but we'll go to mine. We'll play a video of mine in the background as I'm talking. But yeah, like so. But you should post game videos. Personally, I enjoy them. I am looking. I have debated doing gaming live streams. I'm very much looking into gaming live streams. I normally just do. I normally just do the reactions and stuff, and looking at the podcast episode and like debunking stuff. But I'm doing like gaming live stream. The issue is it doesn't really fill up on the YouTube algorithm as much. So I might do them. kind of agitated that History Channel and BuzzFeed took down the stream there. The stream is still going on YouTube. If you come over to TikTok from YouTube, I managed to get it back up. It just means that I finally come across stuff that I'm not allowed to do. So yeah, we've been called out by the popo. I was hoping to go at least for an hour and 20 minutes. This is going to be one of my shortest streams. But yeah, in final summary for what we've seen today with the Hollow Earth hypothesis, it is a load of bollocks. It's very much a load of bollocks. It's very clearly that there was nothing of substance. I wasn't even much of a theory thrown at me, or a hypothesis rather. Wasn't much of a hypothesis thrown at me, for me to debunk. Like talking about the king at the center of the earth and stuff. So there wasn't really anything I could substantially debunk. Obviously, there is no shells because the Earth would collapse in under its own weight and its own gravity. It would collapse in on itself very, very quickly. So you're not gonna. So that's a complete lie. Even having its hollow like a sun, I've heard that put forward before. Again, so there's like another sun. There's another force of gravity then pushing the Earth in on itself. Like it's just a basic understanding of physics, and like even my awful understanding of mathematics when it's presented at me in an English form, like I can understand it. But yeah, evidently I said a bit too much, but make sure you drop in the comments down below. If you're on YouTube, if you're on TikTok, feel free to throw them in now. Actually, throw in any last-minute questions, and I will answer them before I go off, because I'm gonna go. I want to stay on for at least another 8 minutes. I don't like streaming for. I mean, what's my shortest stream? I don't like streaming for less than an hour 20. If I can help it. Oh, I did an hour 6 on the other day. To be fair, I did 2 hours on Star Troopers Fascist. And that's really annoyed me. I've clearly got to be a bit more careful than in the future. When your stream is entirely based on debunking and reacting to crazy conspiracy theories. But yeah, there's the Hollow Earth isn't a thing. I'm sorry, it's just not. I liked that the BuzzFeed video they did talk about how the men that were presenting these ideas back in the day were, of course, speaking with the evidence they had back in the day, with the estimates they had back in the day. Like it's less of a crazy idea than the flat Earth is, because flat Earth was disproven by the ancient Greeks. Like at least this one is more excusable, because without modern technology, it's a lot harder to debunk. It's a lot harder to debunk these ideas. New glasses, yes, got them very recently, and they cost far too much money. But yeah, if you, I love how TikTok always throws people into lives just as I'm about to end it. But yeah, if you have missed live over on YouTube, you can watch it back. I still need to get to editing the 2 videos. I've got the Historic Cinema one. I've got the Selkie video. I'm still researching. I just haven't had the time at the moment. And like where I'm at work, I'm kind of relaxing, and I'm also working on my story, because I kind of want to get that finally published. Because Trip's really pushing me to do that. But yeah, I there's nothing there with the Hollow Earth hypothesis. Next week I probably will look at Operation High Jump, so we can laugh at that. I don't know if I will use History Channel anymore, because I don't. There's a lot of stuff left. There's like the Silurian hypothesis and whatnot. We might just have to start reading journals and stuff, which could be interesting. I might just, you know what? I might see what Count's doing next weekend. I might see what Count's doing next weekend and say, do you want to go in on the Hollow Earth with me? I might do a double whammy. I don't like doing double whammies, but it might be interesting. I'm with the Daddy Chats one. It's hard. I mean, it's hard without a co-host, if I'm brutally honest, to really go in on stuff. Or more interesting, yeah. I there's a couple of things I still want to cover, but it's hard without a co-host to really bounce off and stuff without having the reaction thing there for me to do. It annoys me that I have got copyright claim there, because I at least has, unlike certain streamers, Sandpiker, I actually do put input, and my whole thing is debunking this. But yeah, there will be YouTube videos hopefully resuming shortly. There'll just be one random one, like Wendigoon used to post. It'll be like, why is there a random 2-hour video there? But yeah, I might come in. I might do another one on the Hollow Earth, but like coming in from another person's perspective, like and actually reading an article off to someone so I can bounce off of them. I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, we're at an hour 16, so I think that's enough for now. Thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this one. I'm about to change my whole outro. But yeah, this one's been a good one. Make sure you check out these old videos as well. Hopefully I will start making YouTube videos again soon. I just need to find the time. But yeah, the moment my life has been so busy, and I don't know when I'm going to get time before the middle of April, early May to get a chance to do that. But yeah. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.